Today on our 2016 Jeep Patriot, you're going to be taking a look at, I'm going to show you how to install the etrailer.com trailer hitch receiver, part number E98836. This is what our hitch looks like when it's installed. As you can see, the cross tube is completely hidden behind the bumper fascia. The only thing we can really see is our receiver tube. With that being said, our receiver tube sits nice and tucked in behind the outer edge of our fascia, so we're not going to have to worry about hitting our legs or our shins on it when we're loading and unloading the back of the vehicle. This is going to be a Class 3 hitch. It's going to be a 2-inch by 2-inch. It's going to have a reinforced collar, give it a little extra stability on the receiver tube. Our hitch pin hole, which is right here, is going to be 5/8 inch in diameter. It's going to take a standard 5/8 inch hitch pin and clip. Now the hitch pin and clip does not come with the hitch, however you can find it on our website. We're going to have rolled steel style loops. Gives us plenty of room for different size hooks. Now what's going to set this hitch apart from other hitches is it's going to have a triple carbide black powder coat finish. So it's really going to hold up well and resist chipping, rust, and corrosion. As far as weight capacities go, you're going to have a 400-pound max tongue weight, which is a downward pressure on the inside of the receiver tube, and a 4,000-pound max trailer weight, which is a trailer plus the load included. I do recommend checking the owner's manual of your Patriot to make sure the vehicle can withstand that amount of weight. You want to pick the lowest number between the vehicle and the hitch. Now let me give you a few measurements to help you when deciding on any hitch mount accessories you may need. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost part of the bumper is about 5 3/4 inches. From the ground to the top innermost part of the receiver tube is about 13 1/4 inches. Now let me show you how to get this installed. First thing we need to do is we're going to have 4 push pin fasteners right here on the bottom of our rear fascia that we're going to need to remove. Take a trim panel tool, flathead screwdriver. There's going to be a little opening on one side of the fastener. What you're going to do is you're going to pry out the center. And then you want to make sure you get the base with it. So once you pry out the center, pull out the base too. Next thing we need to do is remove our exhaust. We're going to have an exhaust hanger on this side we're going to need to remove, and one on this side. We're going to take some lubricant. We're going to spray the hanger. It's going to make it slide off a little bit easier. If you don't have any lubricant, soapy water works just as good. And if you take a pry bar or a large screwdriver, it works just as well. We want to get one of those ends off. We're here. It's going to be right at this back corner. And we'll just let it rest like that. Next, we're going to temporarily remove our heat shield. We're going to have 4 metal washers, or metal nuts that are going to hold our heat shield in place. Take an 11mm socket to remove those. Go ahead and remove your heat shield and set it aside. Next, we're going to have 2 holes on each one of our frame rails. You're going to take one of your long bolts like this, put a flat washer on it. We're going to go to this most forward hole here. We're going to slide in from the outside of the frame rail. You can see how it goes all the way through. Pull it back in just like that, so we're able to slide our hitch up. We're going to go ahead and put the other one in on the other side in the same spot. Now with the next set of hands, we're going to slide our hitch into place. Our hitch is going to be sitting on the inside of our frame rail. So we're going to line up these 2 back holes with the bolts that we just put in the frame. We're going to go kind of up. Slide it up, and we're going to take our bolt and we're going to slide it through. Now what we want to do is put a flange nut on. We're just going to hand tighten it this time, just to make sure our hitch stays up and doesn't fall. Just like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use our hitch, the receiver tube, as a guideline to notch out this part of our fascia so we can get the rest of our hardware in. I'm just going to take I'm using a black marker. You can use whatever you want. I'm going to mark the outer edge on each side, just like that. That gives us our width. And then we need to measure up per the instructions. There. This plastic's pretty flexible. You can use a utility knife. It might take you a couple times to get through it. If you have a Dremel tool or a rotary tool like this, and what I'm going to do is take my utility knife. You can see how this is kind of rough here. Take a utility knife and we'll clean up the edges. Just kind of scrape across it. It'll knock off the burrs. And we can raise up our hitch. And we're going to go into our second hole. Now we'll go ahead and put on our remaining hardware. Again, make sure you add on the flange nuts. Now here on our driver's side, when we go to tighten our hardware, this box right here is in our way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 10mm socket. We're going to have a nut on the front and the back side of it. We're going to take the nuts off and temporarily just let this hang to give us space so we can tighten our hardware down. Slide that box down. That'll give us access to our bolts here. Now we'll use a 19mm socket and wrench and tighten our hardware. You're going to repeat that process on the other side, with the exception that your passenger side is not going to have this box that you're going to have to lower. Once you have all your hardware tightened, you're going to torque it to the specifications in the instructions. You want to make sure when you're torquing your hardware, you're torquing the nut side, not the bolt head. You're going to repeat that for all remaining hardware. Once you have your hardware torqued down, you can reinstall your box on your driver's side. Next, we'll reinstall our heat shield. Next, we'll reinstall our exhaust. I would suggest go ahead and spray down the pegs and the rubber isolator. It's going to make them slide on a little bit easier. Let's lift our exhaust into place. Once you reinstall your exhaust, you can reinstall the 4 fasteners on the bottom of your fascia and you're ready to go. That'll do it for a look at the etrailer.com Class 3 trailer hitch receiver, part number E98836 on our 2016 Jeep Patriot.